Alright, guys, let's go. We've got ourselves a big best of 5. It's the Brawlers Cup number 34, courtesy of AlphaX. You can get these replays over on their Patreon. Check out the AlphaX team Patreon, and on their iTax tier, you can get replays like this, as well as all the other show matches they host. We've got Dragon Phoenix Gaming's Cure in the bottom left, the online king who finally won a GSL at, I believe it was the end of 2021. A long time coming for him, but he's up against Dark, who is, I wouldn't call him the speedrunner of online cups, but more like the cheese runner. Like, he just all-ins the crap out of people when he's playing online tournaments, especially the NA cups. Now, because this would have been played at a more Korean-friendly time, maybe when he's had lunch, because I feel like he wakes up, doesn't even eat breakfast, and goes into those NA cups and just cheeses people as quickly as he can so he can, like, have snacks in between. But when Dark's playing these tournaments, I think he might actually be a little bit more willing to play macro games. We'll see what happens. 4 drones get pulled down immediately, and oh, this is not the safest spot. That barracks surely should have been one space further down. I think that's a big mistake. I mean, he gets one barracks finish, but I don't think there's any way he gets the other barracks finish. He would need some real luck. He needs the SCV to build in the top right of that. Yeah, this is basically shut down. Orbital is on the way behind this. He's going to be able to pop out 1 or 2 Marines, and he will try to get back on it. I mean, you're wasting a lot of mining time, so I actually feel like if you pull 5 drones like this, and even 6 and 7, oh, he's just going to fight it. Look at that. He's going to fight it. Oh my god, can the Marine get a kill? Yes, he can. So, guys, we just learned something. A Marine will kill a drone before 2 drones kill the Marine. Now he's going into a Reaper there. Wise response from Cure. If this ever happens, guys, if you're ever getting preemptively shut down, swapping into Reapers is a really nice way to just get a bit of map control. Slow Zerglings can't chase across the map or anything, and you'll be okay. It does feel like a good advantage for Dark, but only now starting his 2nd Queen. He's going to need to build an Overlord next. It'll take him a little while, and the thing is, you can deny his 3rd for a little bit with these Reapers as well, so it does create a bit of frustration. The Reaper also pops out, gets here so early that the Queen, of course, is nowhere near ready yet. Should be able to get at least 1 Zergling, I would imagine, but good micro by Dark, man. Very good micro by Dark. He's going to lose 1. 1 Zergling does go down, but the Queen's here now. Drones can tank at least a couple of shots, and he goes for the extractor. Probably unnecessary, I would say. Nonetheless, cancels it, gets it back, and he's going to go immediately for a creep tumor. The Queen's going to move out the front. Next 2nd Queen's in the main. 3rd Queen on the way as well. Factory building behind this. The barracks is floating home, of course, but it takes so long to get home. And the big thing you miss out in this scenario is add-on builders. So what's an add-on builder, guys? An add-on builder is the structure that you're not planning to use anymore, like the barracks building a reactor, so your factory can immediately go onto that. Having to sit there and build your own reactor or build Hellions one at a time, it feels like poop. It does not feel clean. It feels like your build order is just a little bit behind and sloppier. And I gotta say, as a Terran player, whenever I'm in this circumstance, it feels like I really want to get some more damage done. That's not a good way to do it. He loses the Reaper. Dark just being super patient on this 3rd base, which is interesting because he's got so many Queens already. I would argue that Dark could have been much greedier here, but he's already gone 3 creep tumors and 4 Queens into a 5th Queen before putting the 3rd down. So, yeah, you know what? I think it's not too bad for Cure, just because of that. He's going to go Viking, which is actually a very good call. Medevac drop is so common. Oh, no! Oh, the Zergling gets the kill. Oh, man. Loses an SCV as well. Fusion Core goes down. Cure's going to go Battle Cruiser, but against the guy who's already going to 6 Queens, I mean, Dark's going to have great creep spread. He should start banking energy for transfuse, because once you have a few tumors on each lane of the map, you don't really need any more than a couple. I see a lot of players out there who put like 14 creep tumors down, and they think they're really good at spreading creep. And if you look at the speed that the creep gets out on the map, it's the exact same as a player who has 2 tumors on the same path. Because creep spreads really quickly, guys. Look, this one's just ready to spread. It's already almost at its limit. That's just the way creep works. So the only advantage to that is they do take 50 hit points, so it's obviously more annoying for the opponent to clear up the creep. But better to save that energy for transfuse, which will make him very robust against any sort of Battlecruiser follow-up. Battlecruiser does now start up. 3rd gas, guys. 4th? Wait, Q is playing mech? No way. I didn't even know Q could play mech, guys. I feel like I maybe saw this once in TVT like a year and a half ago, but like, what? Dude, I'm flabbergasted right now. Mech vs. Dark. Now, Dark, I guess he's kind of like Solar in that these guys shut the hell they shut mech down really hard sometimes, and it looks useless. But there are other games where if the mech player gets like a good first surprise run through with the BC or something, they really struggle sometimes to get back on their feet. Like, you know, Dark's going to be just rolling mass like Bane Ravager into it or something like that, but he doesn't have a Roach Warren. He's not expecting this at all. A few creep tumors getting sniped. Q are doing a good job with that, not taking much damage. The Viking has only killed one Overlord. But notice, even though it hasn't killed much, look at Dark's vision. Normally he'd have Overlords out here. But instead, the Vikings pushed his vision back, so it's only really the creep and the queens giving him vision. First Battlecruiser teleports in. Sporecrawler quickly uproots there. It's going to go after that queen. Sporecrawler's roots so quickly, man. 3 seconds to get rooted, just absolute insanity. But there we go. Battlecruiser gets a queen, gets 1, 2, 3 drones. Make it 4 drones. He's going to try and get another queen there as well. 8 queens are still alive. 5 drones, not too bad for a first run by. He's going to need to pull that one back for now. Behind it, we've got 2 more factories on the way. There was part of me that was still doubting it was going to be mech, but hey, he's going for it. Still no Roach Warren down, which is kind of madness. You know that this is mech. He's going Spire. Is he going to try and play Mutiling Bane? That's super dangerous versus mech. Oh, I like that Evo Chamber. I like that. Oh, this is... Oh, man. Cure. Very bad move there. Very bad move. When you see that many queens and zerglings, I don't think that's worth it. He did kill like some zerglings, but I think the Hellions would have been way more useful surviving for a bit longer. I mean, it's good he's nipping at the creep. And most importantly, there's no 4th down yet, which Cure knowing that has got to make him feel good. Roach Warren does finally go down along with double Evo Chamber. He's going to keep that wall off from earlier, which is going to, of course, make it harder for Hellions to get in the mineral line. Very good move. Third base is up. 54 SCVs to 69 drones. You've still got to remember this early game did suck balls for Cure, and as a result, he's going to be dealing with a bit of a Gucci follow-up. The BC will run in. Oh, 3 queens that's a good fight for a BC. Of course, you know, they'll just transfuse their way through it, but that's not bad. It's only costing you a bit of hit points. Yamato's not quite ready yet. The other BC is going back to repair. He's going to get a good amount of damage on the hatchery. That could really come into play later in this game. And especially if the queens don't split. But no, good queen split there for Dark. 2 spores in the main as well. He's just going to try and pick off the extractor. Maybe grab a drone or 2. Gets 1. Ooh, good drone pull. Oh, Dark. Very sexy play by Dark. He's got mutas out now as well. Meanwhile, it looks like 2 lings have somehow got inside the main base. Not enough to distract Cure from losing the BC, though. 9 mutas are flying straight across the map. They're going to go straight for the SCVs. Oh, big mistake for Cure. He loses the BC. Way too greedy, man. Oh, man, just for a queen kill. It's never worth it. If you're ever in doubt, always preserve the Battlecruiser for later. If he had 3 BCs right now, he could easily run these mutas down. I think he still can with even 2 BCs. He's got a turret up as well, so it's not too bad. The mutas are good for forcing a lot of turrets, some Widow Mines, maybe some Thors out, and then you can often go into Mass Ravageling, but he's actually building more Corruptors right now. I'm surprised. Having Cure pinned back, I thought Dark would either go straight for Swarm Host if he wants to do that, or straight for a big Ravager attack, trying to catch Cure when he moves out to take a 4th, or even swarm in on the 3rd and overwhelm him. Cure's going into tank production. Oh, BC does intercept, gets a muta, almost gets a 2nd one, but of course, you gotta remember, guys, that air to air only does 5 damage a shot, air to surface, so that's air to ground, it does almost double the damage. It does 8 damage versus 5, which is a much higher amount. Of course, mutas don't have any base armor, but nonetheless, still important. You gotta realize that's also why Battlecruisers suck versus Corruptors so much. They have 2 base armor, so they're only doing 3 damage a shot. Yes, they do shoot about 6.5 times a second, but still, it's very much reduced versus the double armor Corruptor unit. That's why BCs also can't really kill each other. They have 3 base armor. So when you watch BCs shooting each other, you're like, are you guys doing anything? Like, what are you even... This is the dumbest fight I've ever watched, whereas Vikings, Corruptors, units that do a bigger impact, not as affected by armor. Mutas are going to get a siege tank. Only a single Viking here right now. Widow Mines have to walk down to try and defend this. Oh, that's annoying, man. Happy to trade mutas out. He's like, dude, I didn't even want this unit anymore. I'll even drag your Widow Mines over your own units. Please clear this supply up so I can build Corruptors that actually counter the BCs. He's got 6 Corruptors out right now. There's only 2 BCs on the map. I feel like 3's a much better number. But of course, Q is like, dude, I just need to survive. Hellbats, he's got how many tanks right now? 4? Oh, that's not good. 4 is not a good number. That's a good move if he can stop the roaches on the ramp, but he's dead. He's dead. I think Dark's got him. The Lings get in on top of the tank so quickly. Oh, man. The BCs weren't even here to help defend. I don't know if it would have mattered. But, yeah, they're on the other side of the map. And if he had a few more tanks on the high ground, maybe. But Cua's factory's a bit too late in that game. Maybe with 3 BCs and a turret, he could have, like, Yamato'd the Corruptors and then held on with the BCs. But Dark, of course, finding the barracks early. It was a big gamble, that proxy barracks location. And Dark, with the proper scouting pattern, starts off the series with a win. All right, guys, let's go game number 2. The gamble didn't pay off in game number 1. He made a good run of it. And he did try a clever little mech build, but definitely a tough start having his barracks caught. Dragon Phoenix Gaming's Cure going up against, of course, Dragon Phoenix Gaming's Dark. Now, let's look at Dark's Overlord patterns, guys, because that's the mini-game that happens. With those proxy barracks, to the untrained eye, you're like, well, why did he do that? That's dumb. Obviously, Overlord always spots there. The thing is, there's always an area where your opponent doesn't spot. In this game, it looks like barracks here and here would not have been spotted, right? And neither would barracks here, in the exact same spot as the last game, essentially. So there's 2 spots. He could have put barracks, and it would have been unscouted. And it could have won the game. It would have been awesome, right? It's just one of those things where, as a Terran player, and especially in the Korean meta, you're studying their Overlord patterns and looking for it. And it's funny because you look at like Ragnarok versus Maru in the finals, and Ragnarok every second game was sending a drone out, as well as the 2 Overlords. So he'd be like, okay, my drone's going to check here, and then here, and then here. And that costs the Zerg a lot of money. And a lot of people will be like, man, why risk these silly proxy barracks all-ins? But you can also look at it from the Terran mindset of saying, well, why doesn't the Zerg drone scout? Why are they being so greedy, right? Like, why don't they play pool first to be safe? So there is a game that this is the meta game of high-level StarCraft. It's like, hey, if you're just, you know, if you're going to be that greedy, you're never going to scout, I will look to punish it and try to, you know, make you second-guess yourself, force you to do some less economic pool first openings, send drones out to scout and all that sort of stuff. But Dark, of course, winning that game is like, heck no, I ain't changing nothing. He did send this Overlord to the right side. So you can see, technically, barracks could have been built right there. He wouldn't have seen it. How crazy is that, right? And sometimes you'll see Terrans put them in risky spots like that and get away with it. And you're like, well, that seems like a crazy gamble, but it's all about the mind games between the 2 players on where they put them. Nice little hiding on the pervert pillar there. Oh, he's going to float the barracks. Wow. And he's going 3 racks, is he? Oh, man. So Q is going to play 3 racks. It's a delayed 3 racks. But he gets a snipe on the Overlord, which is cute. He wants to send the barracks back. He's like, I really want to be building a tech lab with this right now, or a reactor, but fine. Dark's just going to... We're on Dark's camera now, guys. So he's got an Overlord that'll move down the right side of the map. He's just taken a 3rd hatchery really quickly. And he's dropping a Roach Warren! Okay, so Dark's like, all right, you're doing some cheeky bullshit. I'm just going to go kill you with roaches. Problem... 3 barracks is pretty good versus that. On the other hand, though, Q is going the greedy 3 racks, right? Because he's already lifted the barracks, so he's missed out on a lot of marine production. That weakens him. He's also got an engineering bay, which will definitely not have the upgrade ready in time. And if he's only building marines out of these tech lab barracks, no marauders, that's also mean he just won't have as much firepower. So this is going to be very close. There is a ramp on this map, and there's no Overlord nearby to spot that ramp, so it feels like it's going to be no speedlings, right? He's just going to go probably for like 8 or 10 roaches. Q is going to have to pull SCVs to defend this. The question is how many? 5 roaches are in production right now. We've got stim and +1 attack started. And as you can see, just marine production to start up because he wants to save the gas to get combat shields started with his next 100 gas. Doesn't really want to miss SCV production. Starts a depot very early on 34 supply. He's actually cutting marine production to do that. Q is playing the most economic version of the build, and that does not bode as well for his defense as you might like. 10 roaches coming across this map. We expect Dark to be building Overlords, morphing Ravagers, and droning behind this. We'll see exactly how that goes. Ravager does morph just in the middle of the pack. We've got no bunker up. He's going to be building another depot. Cure's going a little bit crazy on his depot production. He's cutting into his marine production really bad. He could have 3 more marines out by now, and that's a huge problem. Only having 10 marines when he could have 13. He could have 17 marines when this hits him. Instead, he's only going to be having about 14. He's going to have to pull the boys and fight at that wall. He cannot give up those depots. The SCVs need to pull right now. Oh, man, this is a scary moment for Cure. He can't give up those depots, I don't think. But Stim, 30 seconds away? Shields 30 seconds away? Maybe he wants to wait for that. He's going to give up the depots and pull to the high ground. Okay. I mean, the thing is, if those roaches push onto that ramp, they could get gunned down by these marines pretty hard. The Overlord does arrive here in time. He's going to move forward and skirmish his Cure, but good Ravager Cocoon Morph. Ravager has 5 armor, only takes half a damage from each Marine shot. Oh man, he's going to lose the barracks if he doesn't go forward and fight. Oh, the Ravager finishes morphing. Oh man, it's a disaster for Cure. Cure's going to lose the barracks. He gets combat share. No, it canceled. It canceled. It was just about to finish, but it gets canceled. He should have pulled the SCVs to repair. Big mistake for Cure. Dark is all over him in this series, and I feel like this is a disaster because he can't move down the ramp, and even if he stims, that itself costs him so much money. Look at that. He morphs a cocoon in his face, says, hey, waste your time attacking that, idiot. So many SCVs and Marines and Marauders going down. Does he hunt down all the Ravagers? Yeah, it looks like he should get, if not all of them, most of them. Look, that Ravager even finishes there. And oh man, Cure is in a disastrous position. I really think he should have pulled the SCVs and fought to defend the natural. I could be completely wrong on that. Maybe I'm an idiot. But definitely really great damage by Dark. Kills 12 SCVs. Most importantly, he kills all the fighting units, so there's no counter aggression. And his third's full. He's got 2 Evos. His third's fully saturated. No lair started yet, but he's building more queens. He's going to make Ling speed. I was about to say, it's either Ling speed or get a lair ASAP for Roach speed. One or the other needs to happen. It looks like he wants to transition into Ling Bane. Dark very blind right now. Not a single Zergling on this map. But he's like, yeah, you can't push. So Dark just has this deep game sense to know that his opponent's not going to push him with 2 Marauders and 8 Marines. It's too dangerous of a move. Double Widowmine production. Cure has decided the way back into this game is going to be Widowmine drops. So I wouldn't be surprised for him to maybe stim in from the left, try to kill the 4th while Widowmine drop hits the 3rd in the natural. Do some harassment, something of that nature. Behind it though, does he go for a 2-base all in? Or does he try to drop a 3rd command center? For now, rebuilding the SCVs, +1 armors on the way. Medivacs, he's slowly going to rebuild that depot wall. I feel like Ragnarok has taught us a lot about the power of just doing these surprise roach pushes. Dark channeling his inner Ragnarok. Never thought I'd be saying that, guys. But let's be real. Dark may be the far more mechanically gifted player. Ragnarok is a build order god. He is so smart, making it the finals of the most recent GSL season. And here we go. Widowmine drop coming on into that main. Good spready for Dark, though. Doesn't really find the damage he was looking for. He's going to save only 1. No, he does save both of the Widowmines, but those queens should be moving to the right. That should not get out of there, but it will if he boosts. Queens are a little too slow to rotate. I don't think there's a queen on that base. Medevac gets out with just 6 hit points. And could try to drop there. They're not ready to shoot, though, so he's going to have to just go hide that one. Double drop coming in the left side. Cure right now, each Marine needs to be Arnold Schwarzenegger, man. He needs to have 2 friggin' 50 cal machine guns, 1 strapped to each arm on each of these Marines, and they each need to kill at least 12 Zerglings. Let's go, Cure! And he does get a nice little position here. Ends up picking up, dropping inside the main base. Widowmine drop's going to come back in. He's like, ugh, this gets 1 shot. The medevac will actually potentially get out, but nope. Ooh, 8 drones, not bad. Dark, oh, Dark, you got to be careful. Even after losing 13 workers, he's still up 24 workers. Guys, I want you to think about what I just said. He lost 13 workers, he's still up 24. That means he was ahead 37 workers. What in the actual heck? Oh my god. I mean, Dark does not care. Cure, like, stabs him, disembowels him, and Dark's like, I have 3 more full sets of bowels. I'm like a futuristic space marine with extra organs they've put in my body, so I've got redundancy. It doesn't even matter, man. You could literally rip one of my hearts out and eat it. I've got 2 more hearts in reserve. It doesn't matter. I'm too big. Too big to go bust. Cure right now in a desperate position, and man, I gotta say, this is why I don't like the barracks float move. It's just like, too many times you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna float my barracks to deny your scouting. Haha. And the Zerg's like, oh, you weren't building a reactor for a solid minute, which means you're 6 Marines behind where you would be. And then also Cure cut beyond that to also not build Marines, right? Because remember, he was building SCVs and depots earlier than needed to make sure his worker production, his upgrades were perfect, but his Marine production wasn't constant. So he was maybe 9 Marines behind what he would have been if he'd just gone straight for the 3 racks. It's just one of those situations where you're like, oh man. Oh, look at that. Dark doesn't take the bait, does not crash his Banelings into that. Interestingly, there's some Roaches in the mix right here. I almost feel like that's a misclick since there's no Roach speed. I mean, he can just make them all into Ravagers, I guess. It's always worth having a bunch of Ravagers mixed into your army. And no +2 Carapace making. Looks like he didn't have the resources earlier, so he didn't realize he didn't start that. 1-1 upgrades, Armory. 3rd Command Center has landed. I mean, Cure's got a decent economic setup. His way to get back in this game is to just distract Dark for the next 3 minutes. And if Cure can max out and then take a good defensive engagement without Dark just getting Broodlords or some sort of hive tech, then that's it. That's a lot of things that need to go right, but Cure's doing a good job of it. He's fighting hard. And it does feel like Dark should probably be setting up a Bigling Bane flank on the left. I mean, he doesn't even have a wall. He's got like 3 tanks and a handful of Marines. You can see that Dark's getting antsy now. I think he wants to go. 7 Ravagers morphing on the front. Ling's breaking these rocks. The Ling Bane following the drop on the far left side of the map. Spore Crawlers are starting to get placed out here as well. Means that drop play is going to get more and more difficult to do. You could drop Marines into those Banelings if you want to set them off. The question is that even good enough trading? He was going 3 Widow Mines at a time for a little bit there was Cure, but he's got to be careful. He's going to try and stutter step back into the Widow Mines, looking for the optimal hits. One of them gets a giant friendly fire. One of them only hits a single Zergling, and the Ravagers clean all 3 mines up. That is not good. Drops the Banelings in, the Marines in. The Banelings go, hello, friend. Take it out. 4th Command Center's on the way. Cure is down 60 supply. I don't see Dark letting go of this one. I mean, this is the moment where you've got to have a little bit of that Sue instinct as Dark, which is me pick up hammer, me make head of hammer connect with opponent's face now, me win game. That's essentially the only problem-solving and critical thinking that Dark needs at this point. He's sitting back. He's making +3 melee, +2 Caro, Burrow, Adrenal Glands. It's go time. It is 100% go time. Dark is wasting time breaking down rocks. He's getting distracted by little drippy drops. Oh my god! Those 2 Widow Mines just killed 41 Zerglings. What? He's Cure. Oh, he eats some biles. Oh man, gets another good Widow Mine. The tanks get some good volleys. 4th Command Center getting damaged as it tries to go down. Got to make sure he doesn't eat these biles. Dude, Cure's hanging on like a champ. I feel like Dark is like that. He takes a punch. He needs to take 6 more of those punches, really, for Cure to be back in this game. Cure does not have the redundancy. He doesn't have the things to fall back on. There's Vipers coming in. There's only 2 siege tanks left in this game right now. He's going to put 1 on the left, 1 on the right, which means his defenses are spread. And, of course, that's what Zerg likes to play against, is a spread out Terran. Dark here. He's on 80 workers. Is he going to wait for +2 carapace? I doubt it. The Bio's slowing him down, breaking the rocks. This is all good moves by Cure. I gotta say, both of these games have been Cure playing a fantastic mid to late game from way behind. If he was in an even scenario, this would be very competitive. I'd actually say Cure's outplaying Dark a little bit. But when you have such a bad starting point, I mean, you can run a faster race than your opponent. If it's a 100-meter sprint and you start 50 meters behind them, you better be Usain Bolt and they better be in a wheelchair, because it's not going to go well for you no matter how much faster you are than them. The Bio trying to pull back here. The Widow Mine is going to get... Oh, no big Widow Mine connections just yet. Good hot pickup, though. And damn, he slows the advance. But the left side, the Banelings say, hello, have you heard of our Lord and Savior? Acid to the face! Planetary gets busted. Not an efficient trade for Dark, but he doesn't need efficient trades. Wow, Q is going to counterattack. Q says, screw this, I can't sit back. You've been so wasteful in those fights. It's go time. He's supply blocked right now, which is a little unfortunate. He did do a supply drop and drop 2 more depots. Mass biomine. He's got to get a good spready. Good spready is essential here. Dude, if Q kills Dark in this game, this is going to be one of the sloppiest throws I've seen it from Dark in a while. On the other hand, one of the most miraculous comebacks, if he could do it. Q trying to shove in, but the Widow Mine's not connecting. Oh, the Blinding Cloud derping out the bio there. A perfectly placed Blinding Cloud. Does Dark have the numbers to run him down? It looks like yes, he does. We didn't see the big impact on those Widow Mines. We saw the creep spread and how much that helps. This was a good idea. The desperate counter thrust from Q saying, hey, you're actually underestimating me. You're so far ahead. You think you can get lazy and sloppy. I will punish you. Goes to the counterattack. Yes, it didn't quite work out. We've got to admit that. Dark, of course, very happy with those last few trades, and it does end up backfiring on Q. Now Q is down on the upgrades as he starts +3 attack. His 4th is almost rebuilt. He's got a good work account, but of course Dark has got these edge bases well saturated. He's got to start transferring workers, I would imagine. These bases are starting to run out of resources a little bit. Not playing on the highest work account is Dark. You'll notice Dark is not really a giant bank guy. He's more, I'm going to have that extra 10 army supply rather than the 10 extra drones, and I'm going to smash your face in with it. So he never has the giant 4,000 mineral bank, 3,000 gas that Solar would have in this scenario, where you kind of feel like, oh, there's no way. On the other hand, Dark takes just really good engagements for the most part. The units lost tab was kind of bad, but of course it's gone way back closer to even. And if you're even in this sort of game, it is terrible for the Terran. There's no tanks backing this up. Here we go! Marauders, Marines trying to spread in a big, ever-expanding arc. The Banelings are closing in. The Blinding Cloud derping them out. No big Widowmine shots, but despite that, and a Parasitic Bomb taking out 1, 2, 3 Medivacs. Oh, that Parasitic Bomb was value, man. Good unburrowed dodge on the Drilling Claw Widowmine. But Dark is instantly remaxed and he's got more biles for days. 2 more Medivacs in the red, almost going down. Dark can keep doing this, and anytime he runs in like that, he can bile the stationary Widowmines, he can bile the Medivacs. Very hard for Kua to dodge with that when he's busy spreading his Ling Bane. So there's always something that's going to get hit by those biles, and it's the same 7 Ravages he made earlier, 5 of them still remaining. The Ling Bane Ravager coming in. It looks like Kua doesn't have the numbers. It's pure Biomine. Drilly Boys! Oh, no! The Drilly Boys try to Maynard to the bottom right base, which of course is his main that's floating out, but Dark here and Avalanche as Zerg says, welcome to Dicktown, mate. I'm always handing out free tickets. All you need to do is sign up to a tournament and play against Dark in one of these cups, and he will absolutely smash. A nice little Marine drop on the left side. Might even get the hatchery if he's lucky. Those +2 Marines don't quite have 3-3. Man, Kua's army supply is still impressive. I'm casting like he's completely dead. I'm like, well, you know, is he? He's still got the 4th on the left. He could transfer some workers back to the right side. But the creep is big. The army is never ending. The mineral bank for Dark is out of control. And here we go. Yet another giant swamping engage. The Lings are all spread out. The Widowmines, he gets a decent hit. Oh, massive friendly fire hit. Oh, that's all it took. Kua was hanging on like a champion, but one big Trader Mine there at the end. We got to rewatch that one. Check out this Widowmine, guys. This is kind of hilarious. Because what happens, right, is the Widowmines keep tracking onto units, but then as those units die, the Widowmine hasn't fired yet, so it changes targets. But look at this Widowmine. Oh! Traitor! Traitor! Dark says, don't worry, I'll take the Traitor out. Kills him the moment his job's done. Ooh, Dark with a 2-0 lead in this series, getting so far ahead in the early game. All right, absolutely dominating so far in this series, but he's had some very good starts. Let's see if he can finish it off with the 3-0. Dragon Phoenix Gaming's Dark. Not meeting much resistance. I think the real contest here for Kua is, are you confident enough? Like, when you're down 0-2, it's all about mentality more than anything, right? Kua, can he just basically not give a shit? And that's the real trick. A lot of people freak out in this scenario. They go, oh no, I gotta win 3 in a row. I can't take any risks. And it's like, wait. But you were taking risks. You were playing loose StarCraft, and you already went down 0-2. So it's completely the wrong mindset to think, oh, I can't take risks because I'm down 0-2. You have to keep taking the risks like you normally would. All right. Now, obviously, as always, there's got to be good calculation into which risks you think will work. But you've got to be willing to just play the same as you would, you know, starting a series fresh, take those risks, because to win 3 games in a row is such a long shot. The moment you get stiff in your play, the moment you get a little bit unconfident, you're like, oh, but that might not work, or, oh, what if this happens? What if this? If you're too worrying about what if, rather than just playing the game in front of you, you're simply not going to win. This spawning pool position I absolutely hate, by the way, guys. Tanks can hit that from the low ground, I think. And just in general, a double drop coming in from here is going to get it very easily. It's because it's just so close to the edge. So, like, I mean, I don't think it'll die. It's just one of those things where I would always rather, you know, put that somewhere up here, especially tech buildings later on. General rule, don't be building them down on the most droppable edge on your base. So down here would be the worst case. But it is what it is. Reaper opening for Kua into a 1-Rax expand. So very standard play for him. Just no SCV scout. Dark playing hatch first. And you can look at his Overlord path. So he checked up here for proxy barracks. This Overlord went straight across. And there's actually a common proxy Rax location right there, which he did not check. But you're going to see him coming in a moment. He sees the Reaper come out and immediately knows, oh, okay. All good. 2 Queens, 4 Zerglings on the way. Should probably be hiding a drone out at the 3rd base before the Reaper gets here. Reaper is going on the south of the map. That's interesting. Is he looking for Zerglings? That's a really weird path that he's taken there. Maybe that's the fastest straight into the main base. 3rd hatchery will be going down before Ling Speed, no doubt, guys. 28 supply. And Dark doing a very late Overlord and a late hatchery. This is just classic Dark. Bit of an inefficient build. That hatchery could have been down about 15 seconds earlier if he was going to do this version of it. But a little bit of a weird opening for him. He does start a third queen immediately. Fallings and the queen do manage to protect the tumor. Well done. Good plays by Dark. He's also got an Overlord watching the ledge. This other Overlord you're going to see is going to go all the way out here and look for Hellions in front of his third base. And he's got an Overlord down here, which he's... Where's he moving that? Oh, he's going to put it on the pillar in the middle. Interesting. So he's not going to scout with anything but Zerglings this game. He just feels so confident, does Dark, that he's like, yeah, I'm fine. And this is a third command center build for Cure. He's going for a couple Marines out of that barracks. Reaper is going to be trying to dance around, looking for the creep tumor, but not able to find it. That's the move that got that Reaper punished last time. This time he does get away. Creep is freely able to spread out towards this third and the front at the same time. 2 more queens are in the way right now. Hasn't put back on gas yet, has Dark. We'd expect that any moment now. Is him usually to rally these extra eggs is the most common ones to put back in. About 3 minutes 30. But I think Dark likes to be really just super delayed on that. Just focus on his minerals as hard as he possibly can. His natural is fully saturated. Feels like he was a little slow to that, to be honest. Dark is up on a 5th queen building. 6th queen building. Lots more drones now going to be powering out. Hellion production is going to be starting in a moment. Marines here ready to snipe any Overlords that come in. But remember, Dark's not scouting, guys. He's playing blindcraft. He's not even checking for a third command center opening. If he ran a Zergling in right now, he'd see, oh, Depot's only starting at 4 minutes. Therefore, this is a fast third command center. He doesn't even need to see the CC. Just the Depot timing alone tells you that. But Dark's like, yeah, my standard opening beats anything you can do. It's fine. And that's obviously not the case, but it just shows his cocky mentality. And is he going mutas? Guys, that's a 420 lair with a very quick second guess. He's going to play mutas from here. Dark, you cheeky bugger. So he's going 7 queen, Lingbane, most likely into mutas. It's an incredibly fast lair. Normally about 4:30 would be the earliest you'd see a standard lair. 4:45, a bit more common, 4:50 for Reyna. This one at 4:20, so it's 10 to 30 seconds earlier than normal, and that to me makes me feel like something's up. Still not really scouting. It is Cloaked Banshees for Cure. He's going 3 barracks. He's already got his 3rd landed. So definitely big macro builds for both sides. I do like that spore positioning. Doesn't block the mining too much. That one as well. You can see the drones just smoothly go around it. No spore in the natural. Double Evo chamber goes down, but we do expect Baneling speed first. So actually, yeah, maybe it's not mutas. Maybe it's just a Lingbane muta play with a very quick Baneling speed. All right. You got to remember that Dark's loose with his builds. I often go, oh, he's doing this. And then I have to remind myself as a caster, Dark doesn't really plan his builds out. I mean, I'm sure we could talk to him and he has ideas that he wants to do, but he's very fluid as a player. And so when he does something, which for a Lambo or a Ragnarok would tell us what they're going to do 2 minutes from now, because those are very efficient players, Dark's going to do things in a seemingly random order a large percentage of the time. And that's because he's just fast and loose with his play. He's like, no, I'm just doing a normal macro Lingbane play. I just made my lair faster than I normally do. Stopped at only 7 queens. Maybe he just felt his opponent was going to play 3CC. This is his first scout this game. At 6 minutes, he comes in with a Zergling. I mean, this is the madness of Dark. He just plays so greedy. The Banshees come in, get 3 drones, gets a 4th one, gets a 5th one. A very good damage to start. 4th base, well timed here for Dark. He's got a macro hatch as well. Dark does like to go double macro hatch if he can. Makes up for the fact that he doesn't really inject his hatcheries very consistently. Especially if the Terran is in his face. He likes to pull every single queen to defend. Notice there's no queens on injecting duty. They're all on defense, which, to be fair, is kind of necessary when you've skimped on queens like he has this game. That does mean he's going to have a bigger Lingbane explosion than normal, and he's going to go into Hydras behind it. Dark Spore Crawlers on the front, creep going out. The Hellions coming forwards, picking off some of these creep tumors. Banshees rotating to the left side of the map. 4th command center's on the way. Marine tank style for Cure. So Cure's just playing for the late game. He's going to play this mega turtly old school style. I really think the Widowmine style is a bit more effective. Oh, Banelings! Banelings! Oh, God. Sorry, I didn't catch that, guys. Banelings getting 13 SCVs. I think that was just 4 Banelings as well. That was a devastating move. Oof. Now, I could bring up the units lost, but it wouldn't tell you how many Banelings, because remember, units lost tab, unfortunately, doesn't show units that blow themselves up like Banelings. But I also think it doesn't show up friendly fire kills as well. Groove Spines is on the way. Oh, he's going to go for the tank spot. Uh-oh, you got to watch out for the tank spot, guys. If Dark can jump on top of him before he gets in there, this will be good for Dark. Dark's going into Hydras. He doesn't have that much Lingbane, and he's supply blocked. He's building 5 Overlords right now. Ooh, oh my god, he left a tank behind. Did Q a bit of a mistake there. But those tanks getting into that corner. Oh, he's got to drop that tank up there. Q. Okay, he's going to get the tank spot, and he'll start elevating some Marines across or just moving them around the gap. Doesn't want to move more than 16 Marines forward. Oh, man, sloppy move by Q. But he's got Hellion tank and a choke point, which cannot be engaged onto. There we go. Okay, he saved most of the Marines. I thought he was losing way too many, but he's fine. He's got a 4th command center behind it. Armory is on the way. It's about to finish up, so he's going to go for 2-2. The Banshees on the other side going to stop any Ling Bane run bys pretty effectively. It looks like Dark is just saying, hey, take the 5th base. I know I'm going to have to eventually give this up. It's just a position that's not tenable in the long run. You can buy time. You just don't want to be fighting too much. This is basically just an APM war. Dark saying, how much mining can I get out of this base before I lose it? Ooh, he gets a few Banes in there. Dude, really good move. So I really disagree with the way Q is microing. He should be pulling up to the left. It's way easier to be doing damage to the hatchery the whole time and luring these units into these tank ranges. But notice with the way he's pulling to the left, I actually think that's the less effective way of microing the Marines. I think it's because he wants to turn and shoot and not have to pick up. So I guess I can kind of see why he does it. Interesting to see. I'll have to reconsider that when I watch the next few people, but I think Beyond almost always stays in this corner where Cure is, and I think he's the best at abusing this spot. Hydra's in the open! Hydra's in the open! If Cure stims on that and kills all those Hydras, he wins this game. You cannot leave your Hydras undefended. I think he was expecting a double drop. Dark was expecting a drop to fly through here, and oh no, the Marines are gonna massacre these undefended Hydralisks. Oh, they're such valuable units. Oh, Dark getting caught with his pants down. Oh, man. The tank does get cleaned up. This is obviously not enough medevacs to save all these Marines, so he's going to lose at least a few of them. He does a Reaper Grenade. Very cute move. Does end up losing probably more Marines than he had to there. These Marines should keep working this angle 100%. He could have probably killed a lot of stuff if he stimmed those in at the same time. The Hydras. So many Hydras. Guys, Dark's playing mass Hydralisk. Now, Hydras are not good units versus Terran because you're both going to have 2-2. The problem is the Hydras don't have any attack upgrades. 2-2 Bio will beat the Hydras. Tanks, he's already on non-stop tank production, which beats Hydras. So massing Hydras, he's going to 30 Hydralisks. This is a really bad decision for Dark. I mean, it can work out sometimes where if you win a fight, you'll crush the fight because all the medevacs die and you've got range damage so you can kind of hold a concave. But it's not the best army. Hydras are meant to be for support. This is a really weird decision that Dark's making. I want to see it work out so I learn something new about StarCraft, but everything that we know about StarCraft up to this point says this is ridiculous. He's going to mass Hydra bust the tank position. The tanks actually can't see those Hydras across the cliff. Ooh, and he is going to get taken out there. Time to save those Marines, drop around the back, on the front. Banelings! Cure! Oh no, Cure! Cure! Oh, man, he should have Dark dead to rights. Dark doing Dark things. He's like, I'm going to make 30 Hydras to kill the tank position because Lings can't do it. And he gets the medevac as well. Dark is just doing whatever the hell he feels like. And Cure right now is floundering like a fish on dry land. Oh, man. He never even killed the 4th. This 5th base is also going to get defended by the looks of it. The Marine Micro is good. There's a lot more Marines coming in. Good rally here. The Banelings will go down, but I don't know if he has enough Marines to beat that many Hydras. Even with the medevacs and the 2-2 upgrade advantage, that's just too much Zerg. And oh, nasty trades all around. He's going to try and keep fighting into this, but I guess Cure says, look, I need to... Okay, around this angle, the Zerg cannot fight. There's too much terrain here. Especially if some more tanks come in. Banshees are going to try and help. We've got an F2 maneuver. I mean, he has a 5th base floating out and a 6th command center. So Cure does actually have more workers. And obviously, I mean, I've talked about the Mass Hydra army being bad. Attacking through one direction, this is definitely not going to be a good angle. But he might have the numbers for it to not even matter. Yeah, good pullback by Dark. He should not be committing there by any means. He has no creep down here, so Dark really should just be taking the top left of this map. I would have loved to see more Ling Bane run bys during all this. Dark's been pinned back on the defense for so long. Queens will deal with the Banshee. This base is undefended. I mean, yes, he's got a sensor tower, but where's the Ling poking? Where are the units trying to get in behind? Dark gives up this hatchery. Unfortunately, he does leave a few drones behind. He's got 4 Vipers on the way to abduct those CG tanks. And it looks like the Banshees still haven't died. Man, they're being very useful units. I like the way Q has kept them alive. He's moving forward. He's going to try and push this angle. He's got to be careful. Dark still has a big numbers of army, but not many Banelings, I guess. Only 13 Banes left alive. The tanks are going to take a real nice position. I would like to see another tank further back behind those minerals because I do feel expanding behind the corner is the way to go. Dark is just making weird stuff happen. He hasn't traded too badly yet, but he's got to be careful. If he attacks this army, he needs army to flank from the bottom left. He can't just attack because otherwise they're all going to funnel in on this choke. It doesn't matter how much you pre-spread. You need to flank around the left side. He's not doing that. Q is actually going to be the one to push him first. Uh-oh. Q really should be cleaning that over. This army's a throwaway. I don't like this army at all. There we go. Okay, he sieges in the middle of the map, which is a bit more viable. He does clean up the Overseer, or at least pushes it back, but he still doesn't clean up the Overlord that's in his vision. Q has got a good push on the right, but this army on the left seems very exposed. I do think Dark needs to start being proactive and collapsing on these armies. He's got Adrenal, he's got a bunch of Vipers. Blinding Clouds will crush Q's tank positions. Q hasn't started the Ghost transition. He's going mass command center before even thinking about Ghosts, and oh god, watch out for this. Blinding Clouds on the bio and the tanks. One of the Vipers got focused down by the Marines, but the Blinding Clouds are ruining even if Ducks and Medevac there for shits and giggles. Oh man, very slow on the pickup is Cure. Dark does clear up the tank position, but a lot of the Medevacs survive. He's going to turn around for a double drop. That is not going to work. You've got Vipers there that'll have a Duct and Parasitic Bomb. Queen's pushing the Medevac back. Luckily, he does turn around in time. Cure, he's going to push down the left side at the same time. Ghost transition has now begun. And the command center count is really what's winning the game for Cure. His fights have kind of been lackluster, but he's got so much map control that over time, Dark just doesn't have as much income as him. Good fight for Dark here. Will wrap around the corner. Once again, these positions, man, if he could break these rocks down in the middle of the map, I feel like that should be Dark's priority. And trying to think about, does he take the top left? Or does he take the bottom right? Because he's got to make a commitment to one of those situations. He's also got to respread his creep, but oh, nice Parasitic Bomb there. If he can get another Parasitic Bomb in that Medevac, it will chain it and go down. Let's check out his income. He's got 2 macro hatcheries. He's not really injecting them, but he doesn't need to. He's got only 4 queens all on one hotkey. This is what I'm talking about. So when he pulled his queens back to the main, he wasn't able to respread his creep because Dark in the late game always puts all of his queens on just one control group, and he uses that to both inject and spread creep usually. Interestingly, he's got a second queen group, which I don't think he's using anymore. Hydraling is starting to break the rocks in the middle of the map. He's got a Spire on the way, so Dark's thinking about a Broodlord Infestor swap. Banshee's still alive. 16 kills and 22 kill. Screaming Banshee duo. Going to go to the top left and maybe deny a hatchery. Marines in the bottom left should get picked up, and Cure does keep that active. He's got a nice little push moving down here, and that's not enough Ling Bane to kill the hatchery, so this is an army that can't really do anything on this angle other than maybe pick off a building command center. Banshees do deny the base in the top left. Pathogen Glands is on the way. +3 vehicle weapons making for Cure, but it seems like he's moving away from a tank focus in general, simply because the fact that those Vipers are out in heavy numbers is going to make it difficult for them to get value. Marines will see a Tunneling Bane in the bottom left. I think he's going to try and trap this army. Yeah, I think he does. Maybe not. Yeah, I mean, he's like, hey, is Ling Bane trapped in the corner? But no, he's going to let it escape. Dark definitely should be getting those guys out of there. Dark's got room for himself to breathe. The question is, can he take Cure down in late game? He's got a bigger bank, especially in the gas. Parasitic Bomb's going to work wonders on these Medevacs over time in terms of the cost efficiency. Let's check in on the cost efficiency as this drags out. Cure, I feel like his confidence has been hit in this series, but we've talked about him playing exceptional mid to late games from way behind. Medevacs on the right side getting Parasitic Bombed out of the skies. A bunch of those goes down. The other ones are deep in the red. There's 13 Medevacs on the map, which is too many. I would argue 10 is the most Medevacs you ever want to have on the map. Beyond that, it's kind of dead supply. He's sending more empty Medevacs to the right side. Is this a fake drop? Let's go to Dark's camera. Does he respect it? He's sent literally nothing except Vipers with Parasitic Bombs and Queens and Spores to defend the main. He sees this. It's a fake drop. He doesn't know it, but he's not even respecting it. He's literally moving nothing but Queens and Parasitic Bombs out there. I think Q is okay with this. I think Q is like, as long as you get distracted by this and eventually kill my Medevacs so that I can build better supply, I would appreciate that. Could you please finish those off, right? Greatest Spires on the way right now. We've got +2 range. He's already got Carapace, Adrenal. Oh, big attack, big attack. Only 1, 2, 3 tanks, and they are recessed far behind, which means the Planetary can easily get sniped. Here comes the Bio Ghost, a little bit too late to the party, and a very nice command center snipe. But oh, he's continuing a bit deep as Dark. Dark's got to get out of there. This should have been a hit and run attack, but he fully commits. And that ends up being a disastrous trade for him, man. Like, when he gets 17 SCVs, maybe it's worth it, but damn, losing all the Hydras, He kept the Vipers alive, which is nice, but he doesn't have much army right now. I mean, you got to 94 Zerglings, 30 Banelings making. He's going pure Lingbane Viper. As Cure, he's going to try and just control the bottom right himself while denying the top left. He's moving his whole army around. Oh, Banelings get some sick hits. Ooh, Parasitic Bombs land on the Medivacs. EMPs land on the Vipers. Banelings connecting again. Holy crap, Cure is really getting hammered by Banelings this game. I feel like Cure's engagements have just been off. They've just been off. It's really weird. I don't normally see him do this. He F2s those Medivacs home. He's only got 8 Medivacs now, so definitely actually worth repairing these up and using them to heal. And yeah, you can see, man, all these Medivacs. One Parasitic Bomb could kill 8 Medivacs. I'm calling it now, guys. I can see into the future. I'm a Warlock. You know one Parasitic Bomb is going to kill those. If Q doesn't repair them right now, we're going to see the most disgusting Parasitic Bomb of all time. Oh, here we go. Lingbane coming in. The Planetary is going to get blown up. And the Orbital doesn't even lift. Oh, no. Q will lift. At least he lifts the other Orbital. But a few SCVs will go down as well. And these are great trades because this opens up room for future damage. I love the sensor tower on the north, though. Hats off to Cure. He's got a sensor tower in his main, giving him vision up here. Hydra's clean the lib up. Dark does not have a giant mineral bank, remember. He's been struggling for income for a lot of this game. He's respread his creep a little bit, but Dark does have a tendency to slow down on that as the game progresses. The Marine Marauder up front, this time he actually pulls back, and a much better engagement for Cure. You see what happens when he reacts the way he normally does. But obviously struggling left, right, and center in terms of all of this madness going on. That command center is going to get denied again, and these tanks will go down real fast. This is a much better trade for Dark than Cure if he can get in here and take out this Planetary as well, which it looks like he can. Oh no, a nuke does get called down on the top left base, but Dark is aware of it. An Orbital goes down! That command center goes down! Cure with no lifts! Oh man, Cure! Nuke does land on this top left base, but the drones are all burrowed in the top corner. They don't care about that. Dude, Dark's going to dive on this one as well. I mean, he is spending a lot of Zerglings to kill all these bases, but he's going to absolutely hamstring Cure's economy, and he should now pull back into a defensive stance. The problem is, Dark's only got 4 mineral patches there and this base, so he doesn't have the ability to remax versus a guy who still has 6 orbitals. He's lost so many command centers, he's not even repairing that one. But he can actually, if he can just mule this base, he's going to be mining so much more than Dark. That's the scary thing. If Dark had a little bit more room to breathe, a bit more economy in the bank, it'd be a different story. But as it is, you almost want him to just run in and kill him right now. If he ran in there, he might have killed all those tanks very quickly. He goes for it, but oh, the Parasitic Bomb! The spready is half decent, but still 3 Medivacs die almost immediately, and that ends up being a very good fight for Cure. Remember that Cure has so much more money than him. And look at, I mean, he can just hammer mules down and remax. There we go. There we go. The income was down to 600 minerals a minute, but that is it's gonna very quickly eclipse anything that Dark can match it with. He loses this base. He loses the heart of his economy, and that is a huge problem. The Heart of Darkness. Oh, Cure going full friggin' Conrad on this shit. Goes right up in there. And basically takes the ivory away. No F's given, man. The command center is going to go down. Another non-lifted command center. But it doesn't matter because Dark doesn't have any income behind this. Definitely it feels like Q is getting pulled left, right, and center by Dark. But the macro, the power of going for so many command centers, you could just bounce back. And Dark just ran out of endurance the longer that game went. But creative plays, mass hydras, weird stuff coming out of Dark, as always is the case. But Cure, not ready to go down without a fight. Fighting back from behind. He ain't gonna throw in the towel. Mega, macro, beautiful marine tank pushers. A few moments where you could tell his confidence wasn't quite there on the engagements. His instincts, his speed wasn't. But Dragon Phoenix Gaming doesn't give up without a fight. And he out macros his way to victory. In the bottom left, time for some cheeky BS perhaps. It's Dark. He's going to go pool first to mix it up here. Now, last game was a 3cc and a very defensive macro-centric start for Cure. I wonder if he's going to mix in some sort of timing attack just to keep Dark guessing. I also wonder if Dark is going to go for the famous like 5 roach pressure or something like that off this pool first opening. I wouldn't bet on it. I would imagine it's just a few Zerglings to go across the map. It's going to be an 18 hatchery, so 16 pool, 18 hatch, very standard build. Immediately goes for the gas afterwards. Actually, took that slightly later than I expected it, but... And he's rallying to the gas immediately as well. But maintaining 16 workers on minerals, so you can see he's not saving lava. He's only going to build 2 Zerglings, at most 4, but probably just 2. So there we go. The pool is done. He's going to... Oh, he is going for the Roach Horn. All right. So just 2 Zerglings into the 5 Roach pressure, guys. He could go 6 or 7 Roaches if he's a crazy person. And remember, Dark is absolutely that. Q is going for a Reaper expand, though. Oh, man. I mean, the thing is, a single Marine and SCV micro can deal with 2 Lings. That's why 4 Lings is a little bit better. Because with this build, when you run in with your 4 Lings, they need to bring the Reaper home or react very quickly with their Marine SCV. And that the whole goal is you want these Lings to do that. Now, he hasn't... Where's he pared these Lings to? Okay, he's running there, and then he's going to run in. He sees the Reaper moving across the map. The Reaper, of course, does not see the Zerglings, and Dark's going to go straight into that natural. It's such a small map, though. Does the Reaper go for the dive? Does he dive in, or does he turn around? Go to Q's camera, guys. We're on Q's camera. He sees the hatchery and immediately goes home. He's like, whoa! Okay, he's building a second Marine already. He was already doing that in this game, so he wasn't even planning to build a reactor. Pulls the SCVs. Great response. Easy shutdown on these Lings. Does he turn his Reaper around? He does. A little bit slow to react on that, though. That means he's going to see the Roaches, but not with much time. He's going to have to defend the high ground. The Roaches are... Oh, man, did the Roaches dodge him? Oh, no, there they are. Okay. He sees him. Okay, Cure. He's going to have to go high ground bunker. I think he'll probably go Widow Mine here. He could try to build a tech lab on the factory. Obviously, that gets you the better long-term unit for re-establishing control of the natural. That's what I would go for. But I wonder if he wants a Widow Mine. No, he goes straight tech lab. Reactor's on the way. So he's going to have a Reaper and 2 Marines in a bunker. The Overlord's a little slow to move forward for Dark. It is just 4 Roaches, 1 Ravager, but he can use the Overlord and stuff to obviously hit the depots. I think overall, Q has handled this pretty well, and we imagine it'd probably be a Cyclone. Usually that's the best thing to follow up with here. There we go. 2 Marines and a Reaper inside that bunker. The Bile going down. That depot is basically a freebie. Q will look to keep this depot and these buildings, of course, alive. The Reaper comes in. Oh, that's real dangerous, man. Cyclone will be out soon. He's got to pull SCVs to repair that depot if he wants to keep that alive. He's already building 2 depots in the back. I'm surprised he's not repairing that. He's just giving it up. That's a real weird choice here by Cure. I mean, this has been good handling, but I guess the Overlord pulled too far back, so it's actually all right. Oh, good play by Cure. Dark does save the Ravager. Only now going for a 3rd base. It's always an awkward transition after this opening. The Roach Ravager coming after that Cyclone. Cyclone's going to have to back to the high ground. 4 Marines up there. Command Center there as well. Here we go. Link Speed is on the way. The Cyclone comes forward. Does start to damage that Roach. He's pushing it back, but only very slowly. And you can see so many workers oversaturated in the main, making this kind of tough. And he's actually going to... Oh, he's going all in. Dark's going to do a 2-base Ling Ravager. But the thing is, he needs to put back on gas so he can make more Ravagers. And he's building more Queens, which makes no sense if he's doing this. Okay, Dark is doing... It's not really an all-in. It's like a surprise follow-up attack, but I don't think it can possibly be a kill move. Oh, good ambush. Good ambush by Dark. Almost gets a Hellion. Here come the Lings. This is a weird move, man. There's a Banshee on the way. Q is playing very safe. And that's very, very wise by him. Cancels the depot. He's damaging the Roach. He's got these guys, if they were Ravagers, this would be such a better move. I think Dark doing a really weird move right now. If he stayed on gas and they were all Ravagers, this could maybe have been a kill move, but he pulls the trigger a bit too early. The Lings aren't even here. He does get 4 SCVs and goes back to droning in a lair. But that's a very weird follow-up by Dark. On the other hand, if I'm Cure, I'm scratching my head. I'm like, what is going on in this game? Like, what is he doing? What's his goal? Like, you kind of get awkward here. Notice the 3rd CC hasn't started yet. Cure is going to go across this map. He's going to go to a counter pressure. He needs to build a 3rd CC and transfer workers. Cure! What the hell are you doing, mate? He's got to transfer these workers back down there real slow. Now he starts the 3rd command. Cure. I think his confidence been killed here, guys. Dark's doing so much weird, unreadable stuff like he always does, where you're like, oh, this is so different to what I play against most Zergs doing. And I think Q is mind gaming himself a little bit. He's just a bit slow on his transition. It does get on supply block just as he hits it, but he's got to keep putting those depots. Banshee will get some damage. That's very good. There's 6 Queens out, and they're all at the front. Dark, what are you doing, buddy? Dark not pulling his Queens to defend. Really weird. Looks like, I mean, Q is still in a very good position economically right now. Getting damage is great. And I don't really know what Dark does as his next step. That Spore Crawler is sick. almost gets the Banshee. Second one coming in should go straight towards the third. Try to work this mid ground. If there's no Spore in the middle, you could pick off a Ravager, drones that are transferring, all this sort of stuff. Behind it, third CC is coming up. Almost equal workers is usually very good for the Terran. This hodgepodge of units is shit, though. Sorry, guys. Excuse my French. I'll try to use better language. That is not the greatest set of units. If his Hellion Cyclone was out there marauding around, poking, I'd be a bit happier with it. Because he's just been traumatized by the crazy Ravager Ling moves, he's not as active with these units as he probably should be. On the other hand, Dark's creep spread sucks anyway, so there's not that much to clean up. 10 more drones, double Evo, Bailey Nest. So Dark's just swapping into Lingbane Muta, or sorry, Lingbane and whatever else he wants to complement that with. He's doing it from a pretty bad scenario. Third command center is landing. The worker count still sucks. And the double engineering bay upgrade starting steadily ahead of the Zerg. It's about a 20-second lead on those upgrades. The Zergling map vision getting shut down as well. The Baneling Nest has not started Baneling speed yet. Stim's finished. Combat Shields does need to be remembered. In these messy games, a lot of players forget it. As I say it, Kua with God tier instincts and memory remembers to do that. He's got his reactors coming down on his 4th and 5th barracks. And his 3rd already going to be getting a good hefty amount of workers on it. So very well done. He's building turrets though. He thinks there might be mutas coming out. That, of course, is not the case. We get to see everything he doesn't. Some roaches are building, so it's going to be Ravager Ling Bane for Dark. He's got a macro hatch in the main. Still no 4th base, though. If I was Dark, I'd be feeling so bad about that 4th base timing. He's kind of forced to just mass units off this work account. If Kua overcommits to an attack, it's a really bad move, because if your opponent doesn't even have a 4th base that they could possibly be droning, you know the Zerg's on mass army production, so you should just be sieging your tanks in a defensive spot, just doing light, Hellion, Banshee, maybe Marine drop harassment, and that's the best way for Kua to play this next few minutes. But he's going to go for the attack. He feels like, hey, I've probably just got the army, I could do this. The problem is Ravager Ling is so good at dealing with this push, especially if he can buy all the tanks early on. Now, of course, Hellions can do really well. Kua does decide to back off. He says, it's a late 4th. I'm wondering where that 4th command center is. Personally, that's what I'd love to see. In this sort of game, where you've both been slowed down, your main and naturals are going to mine out a lot earlier compared to everything else you're doing in the game. So whoever gets an earlier 4th and 5th base has a massive boost on their economy. Combat Shields 1-1 is done. It's a pretty vicious army, but look at that Ling flank. My god, the tank runs into it! Oh, the tank and a bunch of Marines get caught! Ravager, Bane, Queen's on the front side. Biles come forward. He will take out the siege tank. No, he only got 2 Biles on it. Finally gets rid of the siege tank. But that's a very good hold for Dark, and that's exactly what we're talking about with that analysis of not only are Ravagers very good leftover from the early game, but you've also got to deal with the fact that he was not droning. You're on even workers. Going for the 4th command center, the 2nd factory, would have been a much better call for Kua. Kua gets a bit ahead of himself, commits to a push, and I think this is classic Terran. Whenever you're not comfortable being defensive as a Terran because you don't have much information. Is he going mutas? Is he going to try and rush a hive? What's he doing? Is he playing Roach Hydra Lurker? Is it Ling Bane? What's going on? Kua tried to go for an attack there, but losing that army does, I think, remove a large amount of his lead because now Dark's not pressured. Dark's like, oh, I killed your army. Look, I'm on 75 workers. My 5th base is up. And remember what I said, guys, main bases are mined out. But Dark can easily transfer to a 4th and 5th mineral line. Kua can't. And that's a huge drop-off point. If he already had his 4th command center up and landing, his income would be so solid. Instead, he has 71 workers that are being super inefficient. Massively oversaturated, and a decently saturated mineral line. So he's got about 10 to 15 workers doing nothing right now. A big economic mistake here on Waterfall. Now he's going for a medevac Marine pressure. This is a pretty good one. He can fit all but 4 of those Marines in there. The Banshees also mean if you chase him too far, they will pick off a few of the dudes. Gets a Queen there. Focus the Banes. Oh, pick up. Oh, okay, does save them. Man, top Terrans are so good at leaving that to the last minute. 4th command center is going to float out to that left side now. 2nd factory going Tech Lab, so Q is going to play pure siege tank style. We saw that go pretty well for him in the last game, but once the Vipers came out, the tanks definitely weren't as effective. 3 more barracks going down. He's got a big upgrade lead. It's gone up to about a 60 or 70 second lead, so over a minute now. Marines coming in one more time. Banshee's getting some damage. Does save most of the Marines, only loses about 5 of them there. So not too bad for him. Marines on the right side. Got to be careful not to get hit by Banelings. Remember, Banelings really hurt him in that last game. He focuses down a bunch of them, but he's got to be careful of the Biles! Oh, Kua, you psychopath. Takes 2 Biles on one medevac, 1 on the other. My lord, that was a scary moment. But comes out okay of it. The creep is pretty far back. On the other hand, oh, Dark, you sneaky little boy. He's going straight for Broodlords. And that's so unexpected. Because normally, you don't go straight Broodlords, right? Normally it was Vipers. Just play Viper, Lingbane. Then think about maybe going Lurkers. Some players will transition to that. He's like, dude, I'm just going to surprise you with 8 Broodlords. And your tanks are going to be useless. And the thing is, remember, Cure went very slow into Ghosts. Played Mass Bio Tank for an extended period in that last game. So as a result, Dark might be looking to counter that. He's also getting Pathogen Glands. We really need these tech labs right now. Being forgotten by Cure. There we go. They do get remembered. Both players maxing out now. 2 more command centers on the way. So Cure definitely wanting to cement his position. Dark is already looking to mine from one of these middle bases. But look how far that tank reaches. So yeah, chasing there is a bit of a crazy move. The Overseer does allow him to take out the tank. He could even have shuffled the Ravagers to the left and just used their attack to kill the other siege tank if he wanted to. The Banshee pair, 9 and 17 kills. 26 kills. Dude, the Banshee pairs are amazing. He's done so well with those. This base does seem like a bit of a lost cause, though. I like that he keeps moving the tanks forward. And a nice, easy hatchery cancel there. But the Greatest Spire hasn't morphed, so Dark, him and Raynor, I always say that they're both the same players. They're Siamese twins that were somehow split apart through a surgery and separated at birth, right? It's like he got the Hive a minute ago and just forgot to use it, right? He's like, I made Vipers. I'm like, wait, weren't you rushing Broodlords? He's like, yeah, I forgot. You're like, what? He's like, nah, I decided Lingbane Ravager can do it. And now he's going back to the Broodlords, but after a big delay. Here we go, Lingbane coming forward. Banshee's moving down the left. That's a lot of Marines. It is a lot of Marines, but they are very clumped up. Now, with the Banshees out front, way too costly of a trade. Has to pull back. Planetary is erecting. This is where the Terran gets so spread, though, right? He's got an extra Planetary there. Oh, that's actually really sick. This is a gross position to attack. If he can get a Planetary, he needs to focus most of his army on the left. But look, Dark's like, hey, you're focusing on the flanks. You don't have your Planetaries up in the middle yet. Let's go! Quick raise on the depot wall. Very well done. But those Marines get hammered by Banelings. Oh, if these Banelings land, that'll be huge! The Banelings keep connecting with the Marines. The tanks on the right side are slowly defending the wall, but the wall does get breached a little bit. The Banshees are out in the middle of the map. They're up to 32 kills. Parasitic Bomb on those, though, will finally get them off the map, and Dark absolutely should do that. He's finally going to go for it, I think, or at least aim move his queens over here. There we go. Parasitic Bombs on both of them. Just 1 or 2 queen hits on that Banshee will take it out. Planetaries do survive, but losing those command centers is always a problem. If he can get a Planetary up in the middle, with like especially if he gets a tank out on this ledge, reaching a bit further, that'd be good. But you can see the tank spread is now a little bit more towards the center, and that opens up an angle on this left side where there's only 2 tanks that are actually defending this Planetary. So Dark absolutely could do another big Bane Wave, smash this, and then swap into Broodlords. He's though like, nah, screw it, we're going Broodlords. He's got 4 Infestors, he's got his 8 Corruptors on the way. He's still going to go for that Broodlord wave and see what he can do. Building armor and high-sec auto-tracking on the way. That's actually really useful. Even the +1 range on the Planetary sometimes kills you like 12 Banelings. Like, it's actually massive splash damage. That twin Ibex cannon looking fantastic. The Lingbane Ravager up the guts again, but doesn't want to lose those guys. Surprised he doesn't kill the... Yeah, there we go. Look at that. That's a Dark move. Hey, the SCV says, see you, don't want to be you. Gives the middle finger to the Ravager. And Ravager gets punished by Big Daddy Ghost with a snipe. Does put the SCV back on that command center. But like I said, he needs a Planetary in the middle. And then he'll be super solid. The problem is, he's only got 5 Ghosts. He has no Thors. He has 14 tanks. Dude, the Broodlord's a genius. If he went the Broodlords even quicker, as fast as he could have, it's game over instantly. Even now, Cure has no idea. Cure has no idea. He's waiting for the next Lingbane flank. That's all we've seen. Every time people play this map, the Zerg just throws Lingbane on the right, smashes that. Throws Lingbane on the left, smashes that, and eventually overruns. Or doesn't and runs out of money. But Dark is like, dude, I'm just going to go straight Broodlord Infestor. The first Thor is starting. He's building libs right now, but 14 siege tanks is way too many. They're all made basically worthless. Let's go to Cure's camera. He's like, oh, God. Oh, God. He's building a fusion core. He's trying to bring his ghosts forward here. Let's go back to everyone's camera. Can he get any snipes off on these broods? Watch out for the low ground fungal boy. Standing ready. He's very damaged, but hard to get in range of him. Look at him. There we go. Big fungal on the left side. Does stop the... Oh, massive secondary fungal. The libs come forward. They don't have lib range. Big chain fungals. The planetary does help protect these, but here comes the Ling Bane. Oh, man, with all the tanks unsieged and out of position, the Ling Bane, the Broodlords, kill a bunch of tanks. They start breaking through. They bait the army forward, and then bam! Does very well. Parasitic bombs on top of these. Libs doing pretty well. They're all very low. They are trying to unsiege, of course. That Bile will take out that one. Another Bile here should be taking out that Liberator as well. The Ling Bane Ravager absolutely hammering home. I mean, we've seen so many Zergs stay so stubborn about playing Lurkers in late game. Staying on Ling Bane Hydra Viper all game. Dark here, I think, just playing so smart from the previous map. He's like, dude, you're massing tanks, you're massing command centers before going ghosts. You're not getting that much scouting out of the map, you know. I can just go straight towards these broods. 79 Banelings? Oh my, Dark. Okay, guys, if this doesn't work, it's game over. Q is going to, like, trade so efficiently. Problem is, he's got more Banelings than QR has units, including SCVs. This is so dangerous, man. Tanks are needed to be sieged versus the Banelings. Oh my god! Oh my god! Sorry, guys, that's the voice acting of the Marines and SCVs right now. Dude, who sent us into this war zone? There were 50 of them for every one of us, man. Any survivors from this are gonna be just messed up. What in the hell? So many Banelings crashing on through, blowing up command centers. Broodlords tossing their babies willy-nilly into battle. Disgusting. I mean, is it cost efficient? Directly, the Banelings, no. But the moment he cracks the defenses open, the Zerglings get such efficient trades. He's even burrowing them everywhere. And Cure, I love the heavy tank style. It's one of my favorite ways to play. And, you know, most Zergs are really reticent to play Broodlords because they're like, ghosts just beat everything. Urgh. And it's only when you're, like, beating them they go to it. But, yeah, if your opponent just is like, oh, no, surprise, I just went Broodlords as my first Hive Tech thing. You're like, oh, man, you make this so much more complicated to play. It's so hard to cover the bases on this map versus the Ling Bane. You want to over-invest in tanks. Dark, one step ahead, always punishing. I mean, Q has still got a giant army supply. He's adding a lot of Thors. They do have +3 vehicle weapons, which means they do hammer. Remember, Thors do have, of course, literal 250mm Punisher cannons, not to mention Thor's hammer. Just saying, guys, if you're standing next to someone at the urinal and their junk is named Thor's hammer, you're going to be intimidated. Broodlords can't really stand up to that unless the Infestors can neural them. So that's what he's looking for in this fight. 10 Infestors with neural. If he can steal the Thors so they're not able to do damage, it's really only snipes that can land. So if you fungal the ghosts and you neural the Thors, you completely take away his ability to deal with your Broodlords. But there is only 6 Broodlords right now, so it's not that many. And remember that Thors, with only +1 armor, do take massive damage to Broodlings. Whereas if you get +3 armor, they don't take so much. Oh, Blue Flame. +3 Blue Flame Hellbats one-shot Zerglings, for those who don't know. They do 39 damage. The Zerglings are like 35 armor and 3 carapace. They're like anything that does 37 damage or less, we can survive a shot of. Hellbats come in just above that. There are still 2 Zerglings there unburrowed. A nice little push from Cure. Cure, remember, does not have a lot of money behind this, but if he can win this fight, it'll be big. Great fungal to start for Dark, though. Attacking into a choke point of Blinding Cloud Fungal. That is not the play, Cure. Oh, no. Cure chucks a Beyond and goes into a choke point with his maxed out army. This cannot be the way to clump up that army and fight. Their Hellbats are evaporating the Broodlings instantly. And there is good medevac healing, but you've got to be real careful, man. That is now 11 Broodlords. He did reinforce that number. He does get rid of that. But we'll see how we go. Lings are running in the left side. Banelings as well. The tank's going to get a few shots off, but the Banelings... Oh, big boomies. Big boomies. Oh, big Baneling busty boys all over that base. 11 SCVs and a planetary will go down. The planetary actually kills like 40, 30, 26 Zerglings before it goes down. Oh, Viper's in the open. The Vipers go down. Bit of a mistake, a bit of disorganization here. Dark is now losing a lot of control, and definitely we should scan down here. I don't know if Q has noticed or not, but there's a lot of drones burrowed behind that base. He should go for it. There's more Banelings that are morphing all over the map. It's Mass Ling Bane, always for Dark. It's the most cheap, accessible, and supply-efficient explodey unit that Zerg has. The problem is they blow themselves up on impact, and so you're necessarily inefficient with it. Unfortunately, Q did not realize there's 20 drones there. I guess you could argue this means Dark can't build as much army, but if this game goes on, which I would wager it will, because I don't think Dark's ready to engage. But he's got a lot of Ling Bane. Still got 9 Infestors. You need sieged tanks or EMPs or something to shield those Thors from the Neural. The Lings go for a run by. The Hellbat Marine says, get out of here. A single Zergling there, being a nuisance. Okay, Cua's going to push him. He can deny this base as well. It's big problem for Dark. Dark, oh man, he's going to lose the left side base as well. Cure is absolutely eviscerating his economy. Oh, nice move. Does get a tank with a handful of Lings. That's a good little trade there. Oh, Banelings say no. Banelings say no, 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 no. Good spready towards the tail end of it. So, I mean, it's not like the start was good, but the tail end of those fights, it's like, hey, that is just Marines for Cure. That's easily replaceable. Couple Marines, couple Hellbats, right? Whereas you are wasting gas. You're wasting Banelings, and Dark's income not looking so crash hot. On the other hand, Cure's income, probably something we should mention, because it does not exist. Oh no, and he's having to rebuild depots right now. Yeah, I mean, Cure has a giant army, but he's a one-punch man right now. He is fragile. Yeah, he's gonna go from 5 Thors to 8 Thors. He's got range on his libs, and he's more Thors and libs. So the libs with range are so good at killing infestors and breaking neurals. But if you ever get like ambushed and suddenly bam, like four Thors get stolen, it is one of the most one-sided dickenings that you've ever experienced as a Terran in late game. It's very frustrating to deal with. Q is going to rebuild SCVs. He's going to try and rebuild. If I were him, I'd all in. So what I'd do, I'd try to spread my army here, 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 and then I'd try to like A move in on this side from all 3 lanes, from there, and from there. And I'd get killed by Fungal and Blinding Clouds and Broodlords kiting me down. That's what I would do, because I'm an idiot. I don't have any trust and faith in my ability to play late game. But I'd also say, I have such a big army, let's do it. Like, he's still got 50, 60 drones. I've only got, I think it was 28 he was on, something like that, maybe 30. So I would go for the 170 supply, max out all in. Maybe I'd try to lure him out by doing run-bys and going after his tech. And then when he comes out into the open, close in on him. But the idea is I'd want to be attacking him in a giant spready. Whereas Cure, he's doing the mega clump. Now, we saw Dark knows how to deal with this versus Beyond in that epic game they played on Data C a while back, where he's going to potentially... Oh, big Fungals. Oh, he's got to be careful the libs, though. Those libs do good damage. Fungal's nice, but it doesn't do massive damage. You do have to be careful. Oh. Fungal, okay. Get some damage done. The Thors do get whittled down slowly. Do get whittled down. +2 armor's on the way. Very important upgrade. +1 air armor gonna come in. Now, I've never really done the math on the Thor shots, but 1 armor, 225 hit points. Punisher cannons do 47 damage a shot. So there's like 5 of these very quick Thor shots to kill a Broodlord. Not very many at all, considering how fast they fire with their modern attack. The old Thor anti-air shot very slowly. The new one, it's like bam, bam, bam. You can almost stutter step those Thors. Obviously, not when they're getting fungaled and swarmed by Lings and Broodlings. But he's got a healthy complement of 8 Hellbats in the mix. Now, if those Hellbats ever get taken out by Fungal Broodlords, Banelings, the Broodlords are infinitely more effective at just hammering in with Broodlings. So that's something you got to keep in mind. Likewise, if the Thor's ever gone, that's a big problem. Oh, he's looking for a Fungal flank. Big Fungal on the front. Chains it. Does end up losing an Infestor. Cops an EMP as well. Oh, man, this is a very big choke point. The Fungal. Oh, Blinding Cloud. Ling Bane, Blinding Cloud, Parasitic Bomb, Fungal. Dark. Oh, my God. Dark with the money shot. Cure steps into a phone booth. Little does he realize Dark was already waiting for him on the ceiling, drops on top of him and unloads it. Oh, my God. Even a Fungal to catch these units on the way home. Absolute devastation, destruction, utter domination. Did he lose a hatchery? Yes, but he's still got a bit of mining, and Dark can rebuild, and most importantly, he's got 17 Infestors, 2 Vipers, 9 Broodlords, and 9 Corruptors. And this is why I was talking about you need to spread out and come in from multiple sides, guys, because if you come in on one angle like that, you're so clumped up for their splash damage. And the splash damage is such a big part of what he was bringing out. The parasitic bombs, the fungals, the blinding clouds, all stacking on top. Dark did a beautiful job. And notice how Dark always pulls an individual infestor forward one at a time. He rotates them in so that he's not vulnerable to those big EMPs. Q is going to try to recover here. And I mean, he does have equal income right now with mules dropping. But Yeah, it doesn't feel like a very playable position. Ling run by for Dark, going to run down this right side. He's rebuilding 5 queens right now, so I think Dark's realizing, hey, maybe just getting transfused for efficiency, longevity will be the best way to do it. Oh man, that was such a good fight though. Dark's gotten really good at the late game engagements. I feel like if there's one player who's just so scary with a bunch of spellcasters and stuff, it's definitely him. Lings do burrow, hide. They will come back later in this game. He's going to send a few Lings in to start. The bio is still there though. Maybe we'll shut that one down, especially with the Liberator. I think the Banelings might actually kill a bunch of SCVs if the bio is not nearby. Sense Tower is doing pretty well for Cure. He's actually got some important infrastructure sticking out there. Dark's going to take this top left base. Wow. I mean, Dark's playing very patiently because he's got a spellcaster army that's best on the defense. He doesn't want to rush out there without enough support. Only gets 3 SCVs there. I think Cure is okay with that. Back up to 2 Thors. Third one on the way. He's got a good complement of Liberators as well. Broodlord's going to take out the reacted factory potentially, but no, he backs off. Oh, Fungal. Only hits a single Marauder. Good respread on the creep, by the way. The Ling Run Bears on this right side really aren't finding any value, but they're very cheap, so I don't mind Dark doing them. He also might just want more Broodlords, more of that stuff. He's got 20 Infestors right now. I mean, if there was ever a game to pick up some Ghosts and drop them on his face, this is it, Cure. I want to see you pick up 4 Ghosts. I want to see you boost in an EMP all of those Infestors off the map. Interestingly, Dark keeping them split up. So something that I think Snoop might have been the first guy to do this is he came up with a system where he would only ever have 6 or 7 Infestors on the hotkey, and the rest would be sitting a screen or 2 behind, not control grouped. Just so if you did accidentally clump them all up and got them EMP'd, you'd just send them all back and then you'd grab the fresh Infestors and bring them forwards. Because you're never really casting spells off more than 6 or 7 Infestors at a time. It's more about having an energy reserve. So you're kind of rotating those Infestors to the front and seeing what they can do, which is of course incredibly effective. The factory comes back and rebuilds a reactor there. Q is going to max out again, man. But because he's got the mass Broodlord now, 18 Broodlords, I want to see Dark attacking his own Broodlings and sieging his opponent from far away. He did that versus Beyond. It was especially effective because Beyond did a bit of a dum-dum move. I think he was just frustrated playing such a static game, not Beyond's flavor. And he didn't unsiege his tanks, so his tanks kept friendly firing his Thors to death from the Broodlings. It was kind of painful to watch. And then Beyond shoved his whole army into a little choke point like that and just got it destroyed. But Cure hopefully is a bit more patient. I want to see some big spreadies. You can see he's kind of going for that here. Turret gets one shot. Are we going to see the Broodlord? You can also shoot creep tumors is another way to get your Broodlord chain. So what you do is you pull a Broodlord back, one of the Broodlings back, and then you shoot that Broodling. Yeah. He shot the creep tumor. And then look, he pulls some of the Broodlings back each time, so he always has a target. So he just keeps shooting his own Broodlings. But the Liberators there killed him a bit too quickly, so he wasn't able to chain it. He kills his queen. He meant to click on the creep tumor. That was a bit of a mistake there for him. Notice he keeps pulling back some of the Broodlings and just throwing an endless chain of Broodlings in, allowing himself to shoot from very far back. That also opens up the opportunity to throw a parasitic bomb. Fungal's coming forward. Oh, big Fungals does lose maybe one Infestor, but the transfuses on the Broodlord's getting some good hits off the Fungals. Take out a Liberator there. The Thors, the Ghosts, the Marauders all taking a bit of damage. And you can see how Dark is trying to just utilize this range, trying to do that super long-range siege tactic. And he can just keep putting these creep tumors down and then shooting them from afar. Nice EMP there, but snipes one of them as well. Another EMP and snipe combo goes down. Good Ghost Micro. You got to wonder where the nukes are as well. Nukes are one of the best ways to positionally break a position and to put big pressure on your opponent. Look at that. Transfuses the Broodlord. Darks takes out 2 of the Liberators. The Infestors all survive a single Liberator shot, man. The Liberator does 75 damage, but the Infestor has 90 hit points. Will regen back to full life. +1 range is on the way. I think that's just to give his queens a little bit more damage, as you often end up with a lot of queens in the late game. He tries to do the Fungal Harass, gets 6 SCVs, and the third one chains it. The Medivacs keep none of the mules alive. 4 mules go down. He does scan the Infestor down, but there's other Infestors nearby as well. And the Infestor's unburrowing and running away. Dark being a cheeky butthead right now. Lings are going to hit the natural. That's very good. Notice how all of the focus is rotated to the right side of the map, the bottom right. So he says, well, Ling run-bys could actually be effective now. But Cure does respond with 2 Hellbats. Cleans that one up. Broodlords come in. Look at that. They say, hey, Let's take an 18 versus 1 fight. Thors might be the counter to Broodlords, but when it's 18 versus 1 and you got Transfusers backing you up, the Broodlords do win that battle, guys. Some people might be angry at that, but just remember, guys, that's not how counters work. You don't get to win a 1 versus 18 trade. Unless their unit doesn't shoot up and you're a flying unit, of course. Ooh, snipe does land, but only a single snipe. Man, Dark is frustrating to play against in this scenario. 7 Thors are out, 3 more on the way. Oh, he's going to go for a nuke now. I do like it. I like the idea of using nukes to start breaking positions. He's got Mass Spore Spine in the top left as well, does Dark. If he can take this minerals as well, that'd be kind of nice. He's going to get... Does he get a Spore? 4 creep tumors and damages 2 spores. The first nuke lands big. +3 armor on the way as well as +3 vehicle plating. It's amazing that Q managed to rebuild after those earlier battles. It's also amazing that he's still more cost efficient after getting just corridor smashed over here on that left side of the map earlier. Broodlords are still posturing forward. They're looking for the right engagement. +3 carapace is on the way. Broodlords. Remember, the Thors outrange them, guys. 11 range, Broodlord, 10 range. But the Broodlords can stack and all shoot at once. The Thors, you kind of need to create a nice line so they can all shoot at once. If they're stuck together in a clump getting fungled, they really can't hit too much. Another nuke pushing him back. Of course, it costs 100 minerals, 100 gas each time, so even though it creates space for yourself, it won't necessarily win you the game in of itself. Dark, also by building the spores and the spines, not only is this backup, it's anti-air, so when he abducts Liberators in, he doesn't need things to shoot them. He can just let the spores kill them. It also means he's lowering his drone count, which means more supply for army. So you can see he's slowly being closing that gap. He's going to mine the more gas out in the bottom right. The gas is actually so valuable, isn't it? He's got 1,600 gas left here, 200 gas there. And these guys is in the bottom right side going to get harassed a little bit. He's going to stim some Marines down to deal with that. A couple SCVs go down. The Marines will take care of it. Scan to get rid of the burrow. 2,000 gas in that bottom right corner, so that's super valuable. On the other hand, Dark only has 900 gas there, and yeah, about... So he's about maybe 2,000 gas left to mine. I don't know if there's any gas on that top base, probably not. There is still gas here, I think, but I don't know how much is on it. We can't select that. Oh, Lingbane looking for a little run by again. Cure can't be taking too much damage from this. Good pullback on the Banelings, though. The Lings should get out of there as well. Gets a few SCVs and mules, just being annoying. It's one of those ones. I'd probably hold position and held that in the gap there, just so it can kill, like, unlimited Zerglings. Here we go. He doesn't have that many scans, Cure, remember. He's only got... Oh, he does have 7 orbitals, actually. Never mind. Oh, Parasitic Bomb Fungal! Oh, and the Vipers, they all get out. They all get out. They got EMP'd, but they... Oh, my God. Oh, devastating. Parasitic Bomb Fungal damage. Damn, man. He's able to repair some of those units, but yeah, he can gather more energy with the Vipers. He's killing his own extractors to do that. And each time he does, Dark is all just about the efficiency at this point. He's like, just engage, disengage. Fungal. Oh, he misses the ghosts. EMP lands. Liberator hit does get onto that Infester, but only a single one. I think there's an argument to have your libs perfectly overlapped. So you've always got 2 sieged on each location, so they one-shot Infestors. Marauder does go down there. No, it doesn't. That Thor's going to be more than a match for it as well. Another nuke coming in. It's just going to force Dark to pull back. Thor takes a bit of damage, but scans the top left. There's no gas there. This base looks like this gas guys is getting retaken for the 50th time. I really do think a single held position between the minerals. This is like the sickest trick you guys should do if you struggle with Ling Run buys and you want a nice efficient thing. If you've got Hellbats left over, especially if you have +3 Blue Flame, it kills unlimited Zerglings. 23 Broodlords now, so he's not going to 30 Broods. Starting to move his spores forward. He's building more and more spores is Dark. I mean, either player could win this game. Dark has a way bigger gas bank, but of course Q has more gas to suck up off the map. Oh, look at this. Look at this. He gets a sensor tower. He's just like, there we go. That's 100 gas. Go on, get wrecked. Kills a Marine as well. Tank friendly fires the Thor a little bit. You can see this lib. I think that lib is not sieging anywhere near its maximum range. Guys, they're meant to have 13 range. Sieged up. That Liberator is way too far forward. Huge mistake there. Abduct into Chain Fungal. Liberator goes down. How many libs has he got? 6 Liberators. Where are they all? He's got 2 libs up there unsieged. 4 libs unsieged actually right now. Here we go. Broodling Siege. Broodling Siege. Oh, man. Okay, the Blue Flame Hellbats are pretty good at least. There we go. It's very hard to micro this, guys. It is so hard, but Dark is a friggin' monster. He's so good at it, man. He's almost killed one siege tank through all this. The blue flame Hellbats are causing him problems. But eventually he'll get that tank and it'll be for free. It's not costing him anything. He's shooting broodlings at his opponent from a screen away. Oh my god. This takes all of his attention and actions to do. But it's causing psychological damage. The tank's going to die. Tank's going to die, guys. It's down to 29 hit points. Some of the Marines as well. Almost dying. He's not repairing it. Yep, the blue flame Hellbats. Oh! Oh my god. That tank has 108 kills. Most of them are broodlings, so kill count's really meaningless at this stage of the game versus Zerg player who's throwing 3 units at them. Dude. So notice he's got it. He shoots, he pulls some back. He shoots, he pulls some back, shoots them again. He's thinking of moving some spore crawlers forward. No, he's dodging a nuke on the north side. He's going to start to throw his drones away. Dark is like, more Broodlords, more units, let's go. The tank in the open. Oh, nuke does land, doesn't get too much, just clears some creep. He's going to respread that creep is Dark. Dark trying to be an ass right now. He's only got 14 workers mining the last 200 gas there. The gas bank looks so frightening until you realize he's out of gas and he's got maybe 1,800 minerals. So he's actually got less overall minerals, and once this bottom right gas is mined out, Cure will be closer to even in gas. The problem is those nukes don't be coming back, and man, this is just stressful for Cure. He loses one! A Hellbat goes down! Another Hellbat just fell. 2 Hellbats just died. 2 Hellbats just died. Dude. He's got to be like flanking with some ghosts or something. I don't know. It's real tricky here because Liberators can't shoot spore crawlers. If they could shoot spores, you could just siege the libs and slowly push his spore control back. But scanning, seeing there's only a few minerals left. How much gas we got left down here? 700 gas. Okay, so yeah, Dark's finished with his gas mining almost completely. Q is going to get maybe a couple hundred more. Oh, nice EMPs, but the abducts are pretty sick. With the parasitic bomb, that Liberator will pop. Single Liberator goes down there. Doesn't cost you anything except energy. Dark is actually only behind 3,000 resources in the unit slots. You got to remember, some of this is drones going down. Oh, he's actually going to have these minerals denied. The single ghost harass is sick. That's a 46, 47 kill ghost. And the banelings blow up on it. Not the most efficient trades in general for Dark. But this is where his efficiency could get disgusting, especially if Q gets frustrated. Oh, a Broodlord gets sniped, but only one. The libs, I still feel, aren't sieged at their maximum range, guys. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like he's messed up his sieges. Ooh, the Thor gets picked off. Oh, okay, so something that Youth Thermal talked about in his Verse AI video is, yeah, you want to be moving back and then sieging, or hold positioning, like moving the right and then sieging. Otherwise, as they're sieging up, they drift in the direction they're going, so they'll end up moving further forward before coming stationary. So you got to be a little bit careful. So that one's a little bit better, but even there, wait, did he? Oh, man. Once again, feels like it's a little bit closer than it should be. But so the back ones are sieged pretty well. Broodlings coming forwards. 167 Terran army supply. Terran should definitely be throwing away some, Oh, Thor gets abducted, as does a Liberator, and another Liberator! Fungal locking him in place. Even a ghost getting mangled there. It does survive, but painfully. More gas is being taken in the bottom. I didn't think there was much gas here. We're going to find out in a moment. But Dark, relentless with this being an absolute pain in the butt. Oh, there's 1,000 gas on that one. This one wasn't worth taking. It's only 34. There's 1,000 more gas that he's going to try and long distance mine. Is Mr. Cure. Dark, he's spending his bank on this giant 190 supply army. He's got 5 drones mining these minerals, slowly sucking up those last resources. I think Cure needs to throw away those 30 SCVs, and he needs to go punch his opponent in the balls somehow. I don't know how you do it with this much static. It just makes it really hard to engage into. He's going to try and look for the EMP across the river, man. Dude, this river was so beautiful, but it is going to be polluted with the blood, the biomass of thousands upon thousands of broodlings. At this point, Dark has lost 1,165 units. I don't think broodlings count on that. Because, yeah, they don't. That's not including those. He gets a ghost there. Very nicely done. EMPs some of the Vipers, does Cure. I don't know what the hell you do to break this stalemate. Dark has created a disgusting hold on this side of the river. And we really are seeing the river as the natural dividing point of this map. Something which the map maker is probably very excited to see. They're like, that's what's meant to happen. These minerals getting mined out. We've got still that 1,000 gas that'll very slowly mine. Oh, watch out. The Thor's in trouble. A ghost goes down. The Thor almost falls. 2 Hellbats go down. A 3rd Hellbat falls. The tank friendly fire. The fungal is devastating. Oh, no. Cure is getting worn down here. He's getting annihilated. The Thors do land some hits, but the transfuses and the Broodlords kite in, they kite out. Blinding Clouds as well. I mean, the Thors dirt forward. A Thor gets one shot. 29 Broodlords say, welcome to Dicktown, Thor Daddy. There's 5 Hellbats left, but only 3 of them in the fight, which means the Broodlings are surviving for much longer. The Blinding Cloud is devastating. Not a single Broodlord has gone down. The transfuses are massive. They pop back into the repair station. And Dark, the king of efficiency, has taken the lead for the first time in this game in the cost efficiency regard. 2,000 resources more have been lost by Kua than him. And Kua's out of gas bank. Kua's building Marines now. Kua is in huge trouble. He's reinforcing into this position. But it feels like a war of attrition where Dark's numbers are endless. When you don't care about your people and you just throw your babies in as weapons, things get devastating. Kua gives up the position. He's like, this is a bad fight. It's a losing fight. I need to do something else. The question is, what is that something else? I was talking earlier about using the hypermaxed army to try and sandwich your opponent. I said it's because I'm a dummy who can't play late game. As we get to this stage in the game, I'm wondering if Kua didn't rebuild SCVs and did just try to sandwich Dark's army. That really may have worked. If he came in from 2 or 3 sides with Thors, Hellbats, Libs, Ghosts, all this stuff, there's a chance. I don't know if it really works, but yeah. And there's so many spores everywhere. Like, we've got people in Twitch chat theorizing. They're like, could he flank with an EMP drop? There's spores on every side, though. That's what makes this so hard, is normally you'd want to get some movement going. This is awkward. Oh, Banelings! Banelings! Oh, man, they get some decent hits. Not as big as I actually thought they would, because those ghosts tank a lot, but the fungals coming out big, man. Dude, the fungals! Oh, my God! Oh, dude, this is like stepping into the shower at the homeless shelter. There is way too much fungal infection on the floor of that thing. You better wear flip-flops and protect yourself. Yeah, damn, man. The Broodlords are going to be still rotating around. How many Broodlords has he lost this game? 10. 10 Broodlords, man. And that's not just homeless shelters. Pretty much any shared shower. In the gym as well. Same thing, guys. Wear the flip-flops, man. You got to be careful with that stuff. Thors, Libs, Ghosts, all kind of hanging out in the middle, trying to get together, but dude, from down a few thousand resources to up 10,000 resources, the Broodling siege continues. Oh my God, Dark, look at this. Dark right now, you know he has a fat smile on his face. He's like, babies. Babies make more babies. This is my Zerg vs. Terran late game philosophy. Do you like babies, Kua? Because I got babies for days! He's YOLOing into a bit of an awkward fight, but the Blinding Cloud is massive. The Thors can't shoot. The EMPs are huge. Fungals do come down on some of these units. The Vipers run into their death. He's going to go for massive fungals on this army. The Infestors burrow, unburrow, basically dancing in his opponent's face. And Dark says, dude, I'm the king of late game. He really is, man. For a guy who looks so focused on cheesing his opponents a lot of the time, Dark shows an exceptional knowledge of how to pick apart his opponent in the end game. Sieging from afar, amazing, just cycling through his spellcasters, chaining their spells, and what an amazing victory for him. GG, well played.